Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Academy Awards show for this. We're here at the Gallery of 15 in Centerville, my favorite movie theater. I spend so much of my time here, every year seeing the movies that we're going to be talking about today, plus many, many others that will not be named. And for the second year in a row, we decided to bring back Kevin Coulombe.
There you go,
Coulombe.
Jackie K. Cooper. Thank
All
you so
right,
much
we got
for
that,
having me.
Mr. C. So, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate
I
it.
swear, this is so sad. It's the first time I've seen you since last year.
Yeah, social media, good and bad, through Facebook.
We'll
we
give a
still
throw
talk,
out,
but
we'll
we
shout
don't-
out to Heather,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
wife, because
Yep.
she and I are friends on Facebook and communicate. But
face to face,
here
nothing
we are,
better than the human
just
interaction.
like we saw each other yesterday.
Yes, seamless.
But golly, what a year for movies.
Yeah, we were talking off camera about whether they were better than last year or not.
And you,
I think they were not as good. And you?
and I think there were more good movies this year than last. I'm not saying that they're of the caliber of last year's movies, because we mentioned Nebraska, which we
Right,
both,
yes.
I think you loved it, I loved it.
Yes.
And but I thought last year when I got ready to make my top 10 list, I was digging
Right.
to come up with 10. This year I made my list, I looked down, I've got 15.
We're going to talk about some that got
Yes,
snubbed.
that got snubbed.
You
And
and I
got,
get a little angry about some of these snubs,
yes,
right?
Yes,
Goodness
yes.
gracious.
So it's been that kind of year, though, and this was the year to me of the small independent film.
Yeah, and it's not always the big blockbusters. In fact, when you look at some of the lists, what would you say is a blockbuster? Sniper, American Sniper? But other than that, I don't know that any of them are
Making
major
big
movies
money.
for people.
Yeah. If you look at the totals, American Sniper's already up over 100 million.
Right.
It's only been out a few weeks. Whereas something like The Theory of Everything's been out forever, and I think maybe it's at 30 million.
Right.
Good movies, but just didn't pull a big audience. But then there's a whole other group of films, and we'll talk about them when we talk about best movie, that didn't make the nominated list. And
Do you like the fact that a lot of the country doesn't get to see these quality films? Does it bother you, or does
it does bother me, because people write to me, when I made my top 10 list, there are a lot of movies that are not on the Academy's list. And people say, where can I see that?
Right.
And most of the time it's, well, it should be out on Netflix or, viewer on demand or whatever pretty soon. But they don't play in the local theaters. I work really closely with the Galleria, saying, ooh, we need to get this one in, we need to get that one in. But they're at the, mercy of the guy who books the films.
Right.
So,
and I will say, though, you actually do have some clout in this area to get some of these movies in here. So kudos to you, because for people at home, I have to drive
but
sometimes
you do. You
hours
drive to
go.
Jacksonville, you drive to
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
And this year, I spent a lot of my time at I'll give them a shout out, Terra Theater up in Atlanta, because
yes.
they get those
they
small
do,
movies.
and they keep them for a while too.
Yes,
It's not 1 or 2 weeks. They'll run
that's
them
where I
5,
saw
6
Begin
weeks.
Again, which we'll talk about later.
Myself too,
up
yes.
there, and but let's jump into it. Let's go on and
Let's
jump
do it, Jackie.
into the best supporting actress. And I will let you go first. Let's talk about the list, and then let's talk about who we think will win, but who we think we want to win.
And last year, you and I agreed on a lot. I think just in some of our early
We did.
conversations, we're not going to agree, which is
not-
better for TV, right?
Yeah,
Nobody
I
likes
think
to
we're
see.
probably going to agree on who we think will win, but I think who we want to win may be very divergent.
What do you want me to tell you first?
The best supporting actress. Let's go with your who you think will win.
I want, and I know you won't agree, I want Keira Knightley to win,
Ooh.
believe it or not.
Ooh.
I was sold by her. I thought she was great. I thought
In the Imitation
in the
Game.
Imitation Game, yeah. I just thought, it was about a lot of intellectual people, and it was mostly men. And she broke through that glass ceiling, and I thought she was just carried herself tremendously. And she's easy on the eyes, too, and I thought that was a great relationship.
Should have been nominated for Begin Again.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she's talented now that I think about
and
it.
And
really.
what gets me is I have been watching Keira Knightley in movies, it seems like, for decades.
Yeah.
And she's
And she's
29.
still young, right?
29 years old.
Yes.
She must have started at an early age.
Yeah, she is.
But, this shows my sappy side, but I cannot pass by a chance to watch Pride and Prejudice anytime with Keira Knightley.
Yes. But you don't think
And
she
Rosamund
should
Pike.
win, do you?
And Rosamund Pike. No.
No, you don't.
But you don't need, I think, I was pulling for Emma Stone. in Birdman.
Birdman, yeah.
Because I thought it showed, she played the kind of rehab daughter
Yep.
of Michael Keaton's character. And she has such range in that film. And I just thought it wasn't the Emma Stone from Spider-Man or whatever, or Easy A, or
Right, yep.
But she and then of course right after that she went on Broadway in Cabaret, and which shows versatility also. But I was impressed with her.
Yeah, she had a great presence in that film. Her scenes with Edward Norton were excellent. Her scenes with her dad were excellent. Yeah,
and she just kept popping up, and every time she did, she had this immediate rapport with whoever she was on screen with, and she sold me on it. She was tattooed and and kind of strung out, and I was impressed. But I did want to go back. Keira Knightley in Imitation Game. That's also a movie that is based on a true story.
Right?
And that added to the enhancement
and I didn't know
of
any
her
of
character.
Did you? How much of that story did you know?
And before I saw it, but I looked it up to make sure.
Right.
She actually engaged to Alan Turing, et cetera. Yes, she was. I love that aspect of it.
Yeah, and their relationship was tremendous. They got each other.
Yes.
And their conversations.
And there's so many
great.
surprises in that film, even in their relationship.
Oh yes.
When he reveals himself to, not graphically or physically, but emotionally reveals himself to her, and her reaction was just like,
wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But who do you think will win?
I think Patricia Arquette for Boyhood will win.
I do too. I do too.
It bothers him.
The
We will
star
talk
of the movie.
about Boyhood.
The star of the movie is going to get Best Supporting Actress. I really.
And for those who don't know about Boyhood, right?
Boyhood, you can talk. Go ahead.
It was shot over 12 years, which is pretty impressive. Some people might call it a gimmick. I call it impressive. Some people's complaints say nothing happened in the movie.
Nothing.
I say everything happened in the movie. It's called life. How can we say nothing happened?
Okay, then we don't need movies with plots or anything else. We can just put a camera out there. And there's a series of movies. I can't think of the guy who did it, but it was called like 15 and Up, and he started.
Oh, 7 Up.
Yes. And he
every 7 years.
He filmed these people.
Yeah.
And every 7 years he goes back and.
It's fascinating.
Same thing.
Yeah. Did you not like those? They're fascinating. They
Again.
interview a kid at 7 and talk about their future, and then he goes at 35, 42 and says, wow,
They're in
look
their
at what you were
50s now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that's great.
Oh.
But I can look in the
mirror. But that's every 7. This was 12 straight years. Pretty impressive.
I went to see it with my son, JJ. Oh, he came out and said, "What? That the best thing you ever saw?"
Wow. So there was some Cooper blood that did love that movie. That's good to know. I'm gonna have to call.
Yes,
JJ
because I was saying to him, "No, that was not."
Wow.
Because the whole time I'm sitting there, he's just like, and I'm like, "Is it time for a refill on popcorn?"
Oh.
My popcorn has grown stale.
Can they revoke your license as one of the best movie reviewers in the country because of this? I'm going to start signing the petition.
You've got the petition going. I do have to say, though, that Ethan Hawke, Patricia Arquette, Eller Coltrane, who is the boy, and Lorelei Linklater, who plays the sister, who's gotten no publicity, who's the director's daughter, maybe a little family schism in there. Where is she? On all the award shows, I never see her. She was just as an integral part of the film as the other 3.
Yeah, she was. But I think something you will agree with, the 3 movies that he made that were so much better, Before Midnight, Before Selma.
Oh, I love those.
Those were so good.
Love those.
He should have got some more acclaim for those.
But isn't it strange that Ethan Hawke and Richard Linklater, the director, are just...
They're linked.
Bound.
Yeah.
They are linked. All right. You say, I wish it was Keira Knightley. I say, I wish it was Emma Stone. You say, I think it's going to be Patricia Arquette. I say, I think it's going to be Patricia Arquette.
Much to his dismay.
And we'll be right back with the Best Supporting Actor. All right, let's jump into Best Supporting Actor. And let's list the nominees here. Robert Duvall in The Judge. Ethan Hawke in Boyhood. Edward Norton in Birdman. Mark Ruffalo in Foxcatcher. And J.K. Simmons in Whiplash. Now, I don't think you said that was one movie you didn't see was The Judge.
The Judge,
because you didn't expect any nominations to come out of. Robert Duvall was excellent in that movie, and when I saw it, I thought he might end up with a nomination.
Wow.
It's that kind of, he's the older judge retiring who gets caught up in a homicide, and he was, Robert Duvall is always good.
Yeah, he is.
Godfather owned, or Boo Radley owned, if you want to go back to Kill a Mockingbird.
What about the movie itself for you, The Judge?
I enjoyed it.
You did?
Really did. It had some weaknesses. It had a side plot about a little romance that just didn't go anywhere. But Robert Downey Jr. was, I thought, excellent as the young attorney who had a love-hate relationship with his father, the judge, played by Robert Duvall. I enjoyed it overall. We talked about Ethan Hawke a little bit. Again, wrong category for me. He should have been in Best Actor if he was going to be nominated at all. Edward Norton in Birdman.
He's one of my favorite actors overall. He's diverse. He's been in so many different things that I like, and he was outstanding in this. When he bursts onto the scene, and
do you remember the first movie you saw him in?
Maybe Primal Fear with Richard Gere.
Yes.
Yeah, which was amazing. That whole court scene. Oh man, American History X. He's so good.
Yes.
I mean, he's outstanding. He's an amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he just gets absorbed.
He does.
In his roles. Then there's Mark Ruffalo, whichever you pronounce it, who was so good in Foxcatcher, but he was also good in Begin Again.
He was, and it's hard to believe it's the same person. Yeah. The transformation
and
physically.
Doesn't he play the Hulk?
Yes, he does.
In the Avenger series?
It doesn't matter. Superhero, musician.
Yeah, I mean,
beefed up wrestler.
He's there.
Kids Are All Right. I thought he was really good. Yeah. I mean, he's good. I mean, even all the way.
Which was another Julianne Moore movie.
Yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. He was even in a smaller role, but
I've blocked that out.
It's not a spot on your mind anymore.
Never Eternal.
He was outstanding, and I know the one guy we haven't talked about yet that we're
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, I asked you off camera, how do they go about determining? Because I thought he was actually the lead actor. Of that.
Well, again, just like Boyhood to me, but you say Eller Coltrane was the star of Boyhood. But they pick the category they want to be submitted in.
Do you think he's mad? Like, do you think, hey, I should have been in Best Actor?
No, he's saying, I picked the right category because I'm going to win. I don't want to be up there with Bradley Cooper and Benedict Cumberbatch. And, all those. No, but there is not a weak performance in that group.
No, there is not. I don't think. Once again, I didn't see Duvall, but I feel like you wouldn't be doing anybody a disservice there. And Whiplash, for those who don't know, it's really a music teacher who, would you say, tortures his students?
But I was saying to you that there was a series, I don't know if it was on Showtime or HBO or whatever, called Oz. It was set inside a men's prison. And he was a sadistic neo-Nazi. And I mean, I didn't see the whole series, but I saw enough of it to just be like, man, that would be your worst nightmare to run up against somebody like that.
Wow.
And then he's on those farm commercials, State Farm, whatever the commercials are, on television. And he said, more people have seen me in those commercials than have seen all my movies added
put together. You know who I think of him as? Juno's dad.
In Juno,
he was excellent in that too.
Right.
I think he portrayed what a lot of people wished parents would be when they hear that news in that movie. So I thought he was great in Juno too.
But you look at J.K. Simmons, Mark Ruffalo, and Ethan Hawke. They don't make big blockbuster movies. Now, Mark Ruffalo now is in Avengers, is the Hulk. But they are more small, independent film.
No doubt about it.
And it's paid off for him now.
It certainly has. And is there any way in your mind that J.K. Simmons can lose this category, despite the strong people that are in there?
What's so funny is, who do you want to win? J.K. Simmons. Who do you think will win? J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. And
do you have somebody you want to win over him?
No. He was so good. And that's another movie.
You traitor. You told me Edward Norton.
Kind of. And Ruffalo. But I just can't get off of that.
Wait a minute. What about Ethan?
I think you're poisoning me on Boyhood.
Grass growing. Get out the lawnmower.
And Simmons, the things he says they cut to the core, right? I mean,
and I know a lot of you out there have not seen Whiplash.
No.
Because, and you need to. And hopefully you'll get it on Netflix or VOD or however you get your movies, Redbox. But he said when he was sent the script for the movie that he immediately wanted to do it, and said the director said, don't worry about the musicality. I realize, and he was a music major in college.
Is that right?
Yes.
Really?
And he said it just happened that he was, so he knew.
So he was
music.
Believable. He didn't just have to
and
study
he was
it.
when he was.
Oh, yeah.
Because he plays the would you call him, the band leader,
yeah,
the orchestra
director,
leader,
yeah,
direct band
absolutely.
of a small
Prestigious,
college,
yeah.
prestigious
Band
school.
only school, really. It looked like it was just for
and
band
people
prodigies.
just fought to get into the course that is instructed by Simmons, and then he physically and emotionally abuses these people, particularly Miles Teller, who is a great young actor who's in this movie, and he's a drummer. And
you don't have to like music.
Oh my God!
To
get the
love
impact,
that movie, right?
to get
Absolutely.
the impact of it.
And the final scene is about as intense. I mean,
Oh no! There was one scene in it when he was saying you can't get the tempo right,
oh.
and Miles Teller's fingers were bleeding from the drum and dripping down onto the drums or whatever.
Yeah. And you come in
What
later,
an
you jumping in early,
amazing-
right? When he was
Yeah.
going back and forth trying to ask him that. Yeah.
And I hope you can remember this, but Miles Teller's father is Paul
Reiser.
Paul
from,
Reiser. Mad About You.
Mad About You. With
Yes.
I haven't
And
seen
he-
him since then.
And all of a sudden, he walks in, and I'm thinking,
What?
Paul Reiser?
15 years ago with Helen Hunt?
And there he is.
And there he is.
And there he
alive
is.
and well,
Yeah.
apparently. Yeah. So I don't know how his career has taken off.
But he's a good
dad role.
Good
played
dad
it, played it
role.
well.
He's protecting his son. The whole thing. But I have never seen anybody project. And I shouldn't say never, but I can't think of anybody equally who projects the everyday human who has that irate a temper.
Right.
I mean,
But still
he
believes he
goes
was
from
helping.
0 to 100
He does, right?
in a second.
Yeah, but I think he believes he was truly helping these kids.
Do you
pushing-
really?
Well, I don't know. At that end scene when he was at the restaurant saying, I'm just trying to get the potential out of everybody. I guess when you're that demented, you almost have to
And he was
convince
demented.
yourself that what you're doing is right and a good thing in some weird form or fashion.
Yeah, I really do. I think he had, he was on a mission,
yeah,
and
he was.
if it kills you, that's what
So
it takes.
right.
But I think there are a couple of givens in the Academy Award race this year, and I think J.K. Simmons
Is a lock, right?
is
Almost
a lock.
as much of a lock as we can see.
Yeah.
We would both be shocked.
Who won last year? Do you remember?
Come on, don't put old people on the spot
I know
to
how
recall
quickly
things.
how quickly we forget.
We'll remember it for our next segment, and then
Yeah.
we'll come back. It'll come back to us.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in between.
Yes.
And come out like we knew. I do want to say one thing. When we were talking about Best Supporting Actress before we end this segment, there were two other women nominated: Laura Dern
Yes,
in Wild,
for Wild, who was good.
who was very good.
Yes.
Not a big role.
No, but
Certainly a
quality,
supporting role.
solid role for her. Yeah.
And Meryl Streep in Into the Woods.
Yeah, and that was the one. That sums it up. What more can you say?
I mean, she's Meryl Streep.
Right.
I mean,
right.
She could come out there and sell bologna, and they'll say, "Oh my God, who can sell bologna like that?" But they are nominated, but they just didn't deserve our attention
No, they did
at that
not,
time.
obviously.
We have now corrected that. But just a quick recap on Best Supporting Actor. I think J.K. Simmons should win. I think he will win. Kevin thinks.
He will win and should win. I came off
Still
my
just
stance.
throwing Edward Norton under the bus. Under the bus.
And Ruffalo, too.
And Ruffalo,
Yeah,
too.
so they were both great.
All right, we'll be back with Best Actress. All right, here we are back again. Kevin Coulomb. Is that right?
That was perfect.
Was that
by the way.
perfect?
Yeah, that was perfect.
Just flowed off the tongue. Coulomb. It's here, and we're talking Academy Award nominated performances and movies, etc. And we have now reached the Best Actress category.
Yeah, and once again, quality actresses in this category, as there should be if we're asking for them to be named Best Actress. Reese Witherspoon in Wild, Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl. Can't wait to talk to you about that one. Julianne Moore in Still Alice. That was just, I'm still moved by that. Felicity Jones in The Theory of Everything. And I'm going to hand it over to you because your pronunciation is so much better than mine. The movie is 2 Days, One Night.
Marianne Cotillard.
Wow, that was that's a mouthful. That's why I handed it
And
over to the big
as
guy.
far as I think she won Best Actress several years ago for the French film La Vie en Rose, or she was at least nominated.
Okay.
But I remember that. She was very good. She played Edith Piaf.
And that one I did not see. 2 Days, 1 night.
2 Days, 1 night.
She lost her job for
She
health
loses her
reason.
job, and she's trying to get all of her co-workers to work with her to get it back. It's a French film. And I was telling you before we started, when a movie is in a different language and I'm reading it, somehow it loses its impact. And I know a little bit of French, but not enough to jump the titles at the bottom. And I think that affected my opinion of her performance. But I was saying, I saw the movie The Untouchables several years ago, which was all in French, and it was my favorite movie of the year. So I'm not consistent.
Right.
But I was surprised. The person who was sitting there on go, ready to get her Academy Award nomination, was poor little Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, for cake.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah, and she's not even on the list.
Not even on the list.
Yeah.
She got nominated for a Golden Globe.
Right.
Everybody talked about, the movie wasn't that great, but she was that great. It's her year. No.
Not quite.
Not quite. Not so fast, Jennifer. Sit down.
Now, I want to talk to you about Gone Girl. I don't think you were a huge fan of this movie.
I wasn't.
Can
And
you tell me why?
I'm a big Rosamund Pike.
Yeah.
Since Pride and Prejudice.
Did you like her in this movie?
I liked her.
Okay.
I didn't think she was an amazing Amy.
What didn't you like about the movie?
Had
you read the book?
I had read the book.
You had, okay.
I had read the book, and if you have read the book, there are no surprises in the movie.
And I had
Zero.
not read the book, so I had no idea.
See?
And I loved it.
I didn't think that Neil Patrick Harris was good in the role that he was cast in.
You didn't think he was just the creepy sleaze?
No, I just thought he was.
You didn't hit that?
He was just like, there's Neil Patrick Harris. Break into song. MC it.
I thought it was just going to be...
Tyler Perry was in it. I thought he was better than I thought he was going to be, but not as good as I wanted him to be. I liked Kim Dickens, who was the detective.
Okay.
And I don't remember, I'm sorry, but I don't remember the girl who played his sister.
Yeah, I was trying to think of
But
who
I
it
thought
was.
she was good.
Yeah,
I'd never seen her before.
Right.
And then there's Affleck, who is always Affleck.
Yeah. They chose that was a good casting for him, though, because he plays the schmarmy. You're not sure if you're supposed to like him.
But let me ask you this. Reese Witherspoon produced that movie.
Really?
She was the one who obtained the property rights to the book. She produced it for a vehicle for her to star in.
Is that right?
What do you think?
I had no idea about that.
What do you think she would do as Amy?
Not as good.
Not as good.
Not as
and
good.
David Fincher, who directed it, said, not as good, Reese.
Wow. You know what I like? I thought it was going to be predictable. I thought, we've seen a bunch of these type of movies. I will say this. It was not what I thought I could have predicted. It was...
I predicted because I'd read the book.
But you were pleased that
I knew exactly what was going to happen.
It did the book justice, though, to you.
The book, yes, it did.
Okay.
And Gillian Flynn, I think, wrote the book. And she's written several others since then that are being made into movies. And I think, she's the one who got the career boost out of this, more so, I think, than Rosamund Pike or Ben Affleck. Even though Rosamund Pike is nominated for an Oscar, not going to win.
Did you not like it? Or were
I
you
did
just
not like
lukewarm?
it. I was lukewarm to
All
it.
right.
And again, it was because I had read the book.
Okay.
And she was not my vision of Amy.
That can kill
And
it.
that
If you
can
don't
kill
think
it.
the casting is good.
Now, a lot of times I'll see the movie and then read the book.
Right.
And it's made an imprint, so you can't see anybody else.
Right, yeah. They've
So,
already established themselves.
But
And if we didn't like it, then let's talk about something that we did like.
Who's the weak performance in that group?
Well, Toliard, who I did not see, I guess,
Yeah.
but you're
Well,
saying...
let's discard her.
You
'cause-
think...
Yeah. But between Felicity Jones, Julianne Moore, Rosamund Pike, and Reese Witherspoon.
Well, to me, it's between Witherspoon and Moore for the top, and I think Julianne Moore should win this category. The movie is still Alice. It's about a young woman at 50 who gets diagnosed with Alzheimer's, early onset, and it is heartbreaking, tear-jerking. It's just so darn sad, but not sad in the traditional sense. Like, they could have gone the Hollywood way and gotten tears cheaply. You earned the sadness in this. She was so
They
good.
got mine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the woman who is struck with early onset Alzheimer's at 50 years of age is a linguistics professor
at Columbia.
Brilliant woman. Tours the world making speeches about language, the importance of words, communication, etc. And then she begins to feel that she's having these little limitations that occur. And she's diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. And like you said, they don't beat you over the head with it like they could. The violins could have swelled and whatever. But the little small things in that movie to me, the
scenes
husband
of her trying not to lose her memory, the little things that she's doing and it's not working.
But that husband, Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, yeah.
And the way his character turns out. And then Kristen Stewart as the younger daughter.
Did you like her?
I did like her.
Yeah.
And I thought that her character was so well written that she rose to the occasion.
Yes. She
and
grew
then
and
Kate
grew.
Bosworth is the other sister, and Hunter Parrish is the brother. But I thought every supporting role was there to lift up and focus on Julianne Moore.
Yeah. Did you have a problem with
amazing.
what Alec Baldwin did at the end?
Oh, of course I did.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I thought, if somebody was put in that position,
Right.
you know,
Easy to judge from
easy
afar.
to
but I
judge
was
from
saying,
afar. Oh, I'd
man.
never do that. I'd never
Yeah.
do that. And then would you have been like, you know, the daughter? Would you rise to the occasion to, you know, almost sacrifice your life for her
And even
mother?
when the dad said, "You're a better man than me."
Yes, and that's such a crucial line
It is.
in the movie.
Yeah.
But
That phone call she had to make when her daughter called and had to break some even more alarming news. Oh man, it was. Oof.
it is a hard movie, at least for me, to watch.
And that hasn't even made $1 million yet.
No.
So that means you and I might be
and,
the only
and
people
they've
that have
been,
seen
and
it.
they have been saying for how long now? Julianne Moore's going to win the Oscar for Still Alice.
And she should, shouldn't she?
Oh gosh, should she ever?
Yeah.
And you think Reese Witherspoon is her closest competition?
I do. Did you read that book?
No.
Before, okay.
Nope. Did
So
not,
maybe that's why you like the movie
I
so
did
much.
not know a thing
You didn't?
about that book. I didn't know a thing about that movie.
Okay.
You know, my wife and I went to see it.
Had she read the book?
Nope.
Oh, okay. My wife had read the book and loved the movie.
She had?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Heather.
And she read Gone Girl and loved Gone Girl too. So.
But you know, Reese Witherspoon also produced Wild.
Yes. Yes.
And
She's
so
a
what
one-man
she
wrecking crew
did,
right
what she
now.
did was she's grabbed her career, which was kind of stagnant, and got these properties, and you know, like Wild was a great showcase for her talent, and you know, Gone Girl was just a great production to get involved with. So I like to see that you know that she. It's kind of like Matthew McConaughey, last year's winner, who co-starred with Jared Leto.
Our best supporting actor from Dallas
last year.
Buyers Club. When we were looking at last year's movies, we were like, "Oh, that's right."
Sure it
yeah.
was. But you know, they also took charge of their careers. I think that's the new thing in Hollywood, that you know, that you don't just go
Get on
where
both sides of the
you don't
camera
go where the money is. You get it. All right, so
I think this one is easy for us.
it's
right?
a lock in both ways. Should win and
should
will
win.
win.
And will win. Julianne Moore for Still Alice.
Same thing for here.
Nice.
That's our prediction. All right, Kevin, we're at Best Actor now. Let's see. We've got Steve Carell in Foxcatcher, Bradley Cooper in American Sniper, Benedict Cumberbatch in The Imitation Game,
There's going to be some drama in this category. I can
Michael
see it.
Keaton in Birdman, and Eddie Redmayne in The Theory of Everything. I want to just say before we start, there were two people who were left out that a lot of people complained about. David Oyelowo in Selma.
In
who
Selma,
played Martin
yep.
Luther King, and he was good.
He was very good.
He was very good. And Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, I had him written down to talk about that.
In Nightcrawler, a lot of people thought that he would get. He was nominated for a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
But
Did you like that movie?
I did.
Me too.
I did.
And he was excellent.
He was
Oh,
not Jake Gyllenhaal.
no.
He had that crazy look in his eye.
Yeah. He was a creepy. He,
And I
he
like Renee
nailed it.
Russo in it.
Yeah,
I really
she was a
thought she
great.
might get nominated.
Yeah.
She could have taken Meryl's place.
No doubt about that. You're right.
But in this category, even though I think Gyllenhaal and Oyelowo were both very good, who would they have knocked out?
Nobody.
I mean, these are
This
the
is packed,
five
yeah.
best.
5 studs.
Really, unbelievable. I think I don't think there is a weak performance here.
Right.
Steve Carell was. I know it was the prosthetics when he played John DuPont in Foxcatcher, the millionaire who wanted to have a wrestling team,
Right,
sponsor a wrestling team, and then became obsessive about it. But he was not Steve Carell.
Yeah, if you didn't know it was him, you might not have known it to maybe an hour into the movie, or not at all. He was unrecognizable. His mannerisms.
He didn't speak, he didn't have the mannerisms.
He was
didn't have
hunched.
the
He
look.
was, yeah.
He was crazy from the beginning.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And got even crazier.
But the performance in Foxcatcher, to me, that should have been nominated and won was Channing Tatum.
And I
He
even
is
like Mark Ruffalo.
So good. I love Mark Ruffalo, and I thought Carell was just great. But Channing Tatum was the heart and soul of that movie to me.
Yeah, he's a little underrated as an actor.
I think he is too.
Right?
And he it's like
Because he's so handsome
he's
Magic Mike, yeah.
Yes.
We even talked about 22 Jump Street. It might not win an Academy Award, but he was good in that to show that he actually has a humorous side. So he's pretty well-rounded and well-versed.
What can he not do?
Nothing
But
yet.
Has he had another role as dramatic as this? I don't think so.
No, not close.
But I hope this opens up a lot of doors for him, because I thought he was excellent in this movie.
And we'll talk more with Best Picture, but the fact that Foxcatcher was not nominated for
make
Best Picture,
sense.
but you got Ruffalo and you have Carell and we think Tatum.
And the director.
Yeah, so how can, it doesn't make
And
sense
I
to me.
did say I thought that Vanessa Redgrave, just for a very small
Limited.
part as DuPont's mother, could have been nominated.
Yeah.
To me, she made an impact in the movie.
She did.
So, and then we have Bradley Cooper, Mr. American Sniper.
Yes,
A
and-
movie that I enjoyed.
And I did not enjoy as much. We'll talk when we get to
we'll
the
get
Best
to
Picture
movie.
category.
Bradley
But he was
Cooper,
good,
He bulked up. He got that Texas twang in his voice.
which was hard to understand at the beginning of the movie. It took a
was.
while to
You
work
had
into it.
Adapt your ear
Yeah.
to it. But I thought he did a great job. Benedict Cumberbatch in The Imitation Game. Benedict Cumberbatch is just an amazing actor.
He is. He hasn't been enough for me to know him like a household
He
name.
was in that Star Trek movie.
Yes.
And then he's Sherlock Holmes on the British version of Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And he's just, and then in this movie, Alan Turing, I think is
Yes,
the man's name, true story, and he just is Alan Turing. I mean, just
How did we not know more about Alan Turing
I'd
as
never heard
a
of him.
nation?
Never.
Yeah, he
I'd
basically won.
I'd heard of the Enigma code.
Right. He
And I've
won
seen
World
movies,
War
I've
II
seen
kind of
movies
for
about, I've
us.
seen
He
movies about the Enigma code.
invented a computer. I mean,
Turing machines
Yeah.
became now known as computers.
yeah, it was amazing. He was great.
Michael Keaton.
Also great.
Oh my gosh! And
Birdman's not for everyone, right?
no, it's not. But it was.
But man, it is for me and you.
But that just reminded me. You know who was left out too, though? Ray Fiennes. In the Grand Budapest,
Hotel.
I thought Ray Fiennes was just amazing. We'll talk about that when we get to the nominated movies. And then we have
Yeah, he was excellent.
Eddie Redmayne. Eddie Redmayne. And I think it's your turn. No, is it my turn or your turn?
It's our turn.
Our turn. I think that Michael Keaton's going to win. But I think his closest competition is Eddie Redmayne. Who, as Stephen Hawking, he had Lou Gehrig disease. ALS.
That's what they said, but
Yes.
I'm not really sure because that's pretty deadly. And Stephen
And
Hawking
he
is
lived,
still alive.
because
So
I came out of the movie thinking,
I don't think he has Lou Gehrig's disease. He said it in the movie. Maybe that might have been an early diagnosis.
And they talked
but
to him that his
Yeah.
diagnosis was that.
Yeah.
But I thought, I have known people who had Lou Gehrig's disease, and it is a almost quickly terminal
Correct,
disease. I'm
yeah.
not talking instantaneous, but I'm talking
Right.
a few years.
And
at
even
most.
what happens isn't not what seems to happen to Stephen Hawking.
But he was, and the way Eddie Redmayne
Just contorted himself.
contorted
and,
himself, got into that character,
Yeah.
it was just unbelievable to me.
And you know, physical transformations are huge, I think, in the Academy. You know, when you see McConaughey losing all that weight, and whenever people transform themselves, I think that is a little asterisk
And you know
and helps them.
what it reminds me of too, another nominee, Bradley Cooper is now starring on Broadway in The Elephant Man. And he has to do all these contortions also
Yeah.
because of he was the main character, based on a true character in history, suffered from a disease that contorted his body or whatever. So Bradley Cooper's going through the same thing. I never thought, watching The Theory of Everything, that this is Eddie Redmayne. I just thought it was Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
And the relationship with Felicity Jones, who plays Jane, his first wife in the movie, I thought she was good. I was surprised when she got her nomination. I don't know if we said that a while ago, but I was. But Eddie Redmayne, Benedict Cumberbatch, Michael Keaton, Steve Carell, Bradley Cooper, they are
good.
Amazing. But I do think Keaton will win, and I want Keaton to win, because I think it's one of those comeback stories. I said, who was sitting around and said, okay, we've got this story about an actor who's been a big movie star. He comes to Broadway to try to revive his career. Oh, let's see, is Pacino available? No, he's not available. What about one of those new guys, Cumberbatch? No. Michael Keaton. I mean, who thinks that?
And he almost parodied himself
in
the movie.
He was the original
Batman, and then and I like that he took that on and owned it. A lot of Hollywood actors probably wouldn't be willing to do that.
And in the movie, I don't know if he was schizophrenic or bipolar,
something.
But he went from one pace of ordinary to frenetic to insane to back.
Yeah.
And you never knew which state he was going to be in.
Right. Hearing voices. I mean, he was amazing.
I mean, I really did. I thought it was an amazing performance by him.
Me too. Tell me about Bradley Cooper. 3 years in a row he's been nominated.
3 years in a row.
What do you think he's been better in? American Hustle?
3 years in a row he's been nominated.
Silver Linings Playbook, Hustle, American Hustle, or Sniper? What do you think he was better?
Silver Linings Playbook.
Okay.
Watton is impressed with him in American Hustle. I think that he got into Chris Kyle, the performance of Chris Kyle. He is the movie.
Yeah, he is the movie. You know what I liked him more in? Limitless. I thought that was one of his best roles. Yeah, I thought he was awesome in that. Not the best movie ever, but very entertaining. And I thought he was great in that.
But those are movies that come and go and make no ripple.
No ripple. Yeah,
no ripple on the pond. But I think too, when Bradley Cooper first started out, everybody just thought, okay, he's good looking. Kind of like Channing Tatum.
Right. Yeah. But he's transformed.
And then he must have a genius for picking roles.
So are you saying you want Eddie Redmayne to win and not Cooper?
No, I'm not Cooper. I want Michael Keaton to win.
Okay, and he will win.
And I think he will win. I think Eddie Redmayne is his closest competition.
I'm going to throw you a curveball.
You're going to say Carell.
No, I'm not. I think Benedict Cumberbatch should win.
You think he should
I
win?
want him to win. I thought
over Michael Keaton?
Yes. I love Birdman. I love Michael Keaton. But honestly, I think just lost his mind.
Right.
I really do. I thought to play all of that he had to play was outstanding. He's probably had a little touch of maybe Asperger's or some type of something in that movie, the way he didn't work well with others, his relationship. There were so many different interesting aspects of him. I loved him.
Again, the evolution of those characters. In that one, we've talked about other movies where the central character is, you learn about, like in American Sniper, you learn about Chris Kyle, but you don't know much about anybody except his wife of the supporting characters. They're just kind of all alike. In the Imitation Game, I felt like I learned each member of that team.
Oh, yeah.
Matthew Good,
right.
Alan Leeds, or whatever his name is, from Downton Abbey.
They all had personalities. The Russian spy, the girl.
Keira Knightley.
There was a.
I really did. I felt like he was, Benedict Cumberbatch was the movie, but he gave room for the others also.
Yes.
Okay. So, I think Michael Keaton should win. I think Michael Keaton will win. You think?
Michael Keaton will win, and Benedict Cumberbatch should win.
Those are the predictions. Well, we are moving right along, and we have now reached the Best Director. Take it, Kevin.
I will, sir. Thank you so much. Alejandro Inarritu, the director of...
What's his middle name?
You tell me.
Gonzalez.
Alejandro
Gonzalez Inarritu.
Kind of goes right off the tongue.
It flows.
It does flow.
For Birdman.
For Birdman. Richard Linklater for...
I always want to say Linklater.
Yeah, it does seem like that's what should
Linklater.
come out. Yeah. For Boyhood. Bennett Miller for Foxcatcher.
Wes Anderson for Grand Budapest Hotel, and Morton Tildum for Imitation Game. Let's talk about Inarritu for Birdman. You know the couple other movies that he's done? He's only done a handful.
Yeah, I can't recall the name off the top of my head.
Babel?
Which wasn't my favorite movie. That was Brad Pitt one.
Yes, it was. And I don't know if you saw, of course you did, 21 Grams.
21 Grams, Naomi
Sean
Watts.
Penn and Naomi Watts.
Yeah, and I liked it.
So could he have had three more diverse movies? He's only made 4. I didn't know the other one, but I just thought that was interesting. Boy,
What got me for Birdman was, I guess it was his decision, was those long
the
camera
cinematography,
shots.
loved it.
Yes.
Didn't you?
I mean, the camera would follow a character down steps,
Yeah.
through a hall, and there was almost never a break. And it would go on for 10,
Right.
15 minutes. And I did read that they said the actors were nervous wrecks because they were so afraid they would get to the 15th minute and blow a line, and then they
yeah.
have to start all over again.
Right.
Because the camera never stopped. And it almost looked like it was longer than that. It was so seamless that it looked like there weren't even any breaks, that it just was one almost total camera.
Yes, not
roll.
just the performances, but the editing, the
Yes.
filming, everything
But
about
all
it
of
was
that to me comes
quality.
back to the director.
Yes, no doubt about it. And it could have been a hot mess, that movie. And some people might have thought it was.
And a lot of people thought it was.
Right. But if
Because you have to decide what's real and what's not real.
Yeah.
And that type of thing. And it's a matter of independent judgment.
Yeah, I could see people say they hate it. And some people say
I've
they
had
loved
people
it.
tell me, how could you like that movie?
Yeah.
But they said the same thing about the Grand Budapest Hotel, which we'll get to later. But then there's your guy, Linklater.
Linklater, who,
Linklater.
if you don't know the premise behind Boyhood, he thinks it's a gimmick. I thought it was pretty amazing. He kept the same actors for 12 straight years and watched a husband, wife, son, and daughter basically be raised on film. So he almost watched the home movies of a family be raised on film. In other films, they just hire someone to play the...
And what was the story?
The story was life. You just literally
that's
watched
deep.
the family grow up on camera.
The story is life.
So if we did a story about you and your children and your wife and all the interactions...
Who would want to watch it?
I would.
Just to see me get old? Or?
Older. So yeah, I just think you can call it a gimmick. Maybe it is gimmicky.
I did.
But it's an impressive gimmick, I would say.
It's a gimmicky
No one's
movie.
ever done it before. Why not? It was a
7
pretty...
Up.
7 Up. Yeah, we did talk about that earlier
Harry
in the
Potter.
show. Yeah. They put the 20 hours of footage of
That's right, they grew
Harry
up.
Potter we
They
would
grew
have
up.
growing up
Yeah.
right on film. So I was impressed, but you and I were impressed by his other works, Before Sunrise, Before
I
Sunset,
love those.
and Before Midnight.
Love those.
And
didn't he do Dazed and Confused?
he did, which
Matthew
doesn't
McConaughey,
match up
last
to
year's
these
Best Actor,
movies.
yeah.
And
He's certainly a talented man. I'm not taking anything away from his talent.
and there's one that we loved that he did, Bernie.
Oh yes.
So good.
Oh yes.
So
Jack
good.
Black and Shirley MacLaine.
Yes. Oh, that was, if you have a chance to see
You
Bernie,
probably nobody's
please.
seen it.
No, but oh goodness, they're
that's
missing
our
out.
elitism showing through there.
I guess our
Kevin,
movie snobs.
Oh, did you see Bernie?
Well, he did also do School of Rock. And
I
most
love
people
School of
saw
Rock, which is
School
coming
of
to
Rock.
Broadway.
Is that right?
They're making it into a Broadway musical. All right, let's move on. Bennett Miller for Foxcatcher, not nominated for Best Picture, but Bennett Miller. And what was his previous movie? He's done
Moneyball.
Moneyball.
And
that,
Capote.
that Jonah Hill
Right.
won an Oscar nomination
Yes.
for, and Capote, which
With the late
made nothing.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes.
Yeah. So interesting.
But there
too.
were 2 Capote movies that year. There was another Capote movie that year with Sandra Bullock as To Kill a Mockingbird author.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it got nothing.
Right.
And then Capote, I think Hoffman did get nominated for Capote.
Yes.
But didn't make any money at all.
No.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson, Grand Budapest Hotel.
Which you like Moonrise Kingdom better than
Another Wes Anderson movie, Moonrise Kingdom. I did like better than that. I liked Budapest Hotel. I like Wes Anderson.
There was something about Grand Budapest Hotel that just struck me funny, and I laughed from beginning to end. I liked the bellboy. I liked all the Bill Murray, Owen Wilson cameos, Tilda Swinton,
Right.
everything, and the whole staging, everything. Now you talk about a movie that's a matter of taste.
Oh yes, I was going to
Whoa.
say that. You either get that or you don't. Have you seen Royal Tenenbaums? He did that movie.
Yes.
Squid and the
Paltrow?
Whale. Yep. Rushmore. So he's got quite a few.
Yeah, Rushmore was his big movie.
That was his.
That was the one that broke him onto the
Yeah.
scene.
The first movie he ever did was Bottle Rocket, which I
Yes,
still haven't
yes,
seen
with
yet.
the Wilson brothers.
That's what their first movie too. Did
Yeah.
you see that?
I did.
You did. Did
was
you like
was
it?
Burt Lancaster in that?
I don't know. I haven't seen it
I
yet.
think he's the older man. But
And our last one is Morton Tildum with
the Imitation
Imitation
Game.
Game. And once again, these are all great films except Boyhood, in your opinion. So let's talk about it.
All right. Who do you want to win?
Inarritu. I think it was so creative and interesting.
I do too.
And wonderful.
Kevin, we agree. I do
We
too.
get a fist bump? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Will
But who
win.
do you think will win?
I think he will.
Nope.
You don't? Oh, who do you? Oh, Linklater.
Linklater.
Yes.
I really do.
Do you think there could be a clean sweep? Hawke, Arquette?
Nope.
No. So
Nope.
you think just
But
Linklater?
I think he's going to get director. I think Arquette's going to get supporting actress,
and not Ethan Hawke.
and I don't think Ethan Hawke will win.
I don't know if this is legal to do on the air, but I want to say, I'll take you to lunch if Linklater wins, and if Inarritu wins, you take me to
I would,
lunch.
yeah, I would.
You're down with that?
We will go to lunch if Inarritu wins, and I'll buy my own because I want him to win.
Okay.
Yeah, I think as far as showing skill, now Linklater took a risk by every year saying, "Come on, guys, let's make another
Right,
installment
yes.
of this movie." But I don't want him to win. But you say Inarritu, you want to win and will win. I say Inarritu, I want to win, but Linklater will win. That's
We'll
those
see.
choices. Kevin, I can't believe we are already at the Best Picture. The last category. Time has flown. It's my time to read
is, sir.
the nominees. The nominees are, and there are a lot of movies missing from this list, American Sniper.
Shouldn't we?
Wait a minute, let me say it. Let me gloat when I say that. American Sniper. And, okay, we'll come back to why the omissions there. Birdman, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel.
We have a couple polarizing movies.
Yes,
I
we
love
do.
it.
The Imitation Game, Selma, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash, which I'm so glad Whiplash
Is on there.
snuck in there.
Yeah.
And let's just jump into real quickly the controversy of Selma.
Okay.
There's been a lot of talk about there, is a backlash against Hollywood, that the Academy is made up of older white male voters, and that this was a complete discrimination against the good performances by black actors and black director, etc. Ava DuVernay directed it. They had a chance to nominate the first black female director, and they did. But when people say, "Oh, they had the chance," what does that mean?
I don't know. I didn't know that there was such controversy about
There
it.
is controversy. I mean, there's
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
read controversy about Sniper too.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about politics has always influenced movies and will continue.
It should be the quality of
It
art.
should.
Because when I think about Selma and they say, "Oh, they should have been nominated because it was a black female director. This was about the subject matter of Martin Luther King Jr. Race should have been an issue to get this film nominated in other categories." If you say that awards should be given based on race, gender, etc., then does that diminish 12 Years a Slave winning Best Picture last year,
Right.
and Lupita Nyong'o winning Best Supporting Actress, and different nominations they got? I would hate for if I was Lupita Nyong'o, I would hate for people to say, "Oh yeah, she won, but only because she was black."
It's like discrediting that, and that's
And she certainly did a good job in that movie. She wasn't my favorite person to win, not because of race or anything, but just because of the performances. But it should be on the quality of the movie, the talent of the director, the talent of the actors, and all that shouldn't enter into it. I remember when Halle Berry won. I was thrilled because of the movie that she made with Billy Bob Thornton.
Monsters Ball.
Monsters Ball. I thought she was fantastic
She was
in
amazing.
that. And I would hate to diminish her win
Right.
in any way.
Yeah, and I actually think Denzel Washington never should have won for Training Day. That was the year.
But the other one he
Russell
won
Crowe
for.
with Beautiful Mind should have beaten
What
him
was
that
the
year.
what was the it was like during the Civil War or War between States that he played a role.
Yeah.
He got Best Supporting Actor.
Right.
And he was good.
He was good,
He
yeah.
was so good. I mean, he's a great actor.
And we talked. Selma was good. I loved it more educationally and historically.
Mm-hmm.
The movie was solid. I'm glad it's in there, but I don't think it should win Best Picture.
But it's in there, and I thought Foxcatcher was a better movie.
I did too. Yeah, and you know they can nominate up to 10 movies, and they
Yes,
only did 8.
and they only did 8.
So why not? And let's
And
talk.
they stopped.
Yeah, I know we shouldn't talk all about the snubs, but we definitely believe Foxcatcher should be in. Saint Vincent with Bill
Saint
Murray.
Vincent.
So good. Should be in there. It's a shame.
And I wanted him to be nominated as Best Actor. I don't know where he would have squeezed in
Right.
there. But St. Vincent, again, and if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. But it was one of those movies that I knew nothing about going in. The first 30 minutes to an hour, I thought, this is a fun movie. You know, I'm having a good time with it. And then,
Boom.
bam,
Yeah.
it hits you between the eyes.
Yeah.
Becomes so much more than you expect it to be. Look it up, St. Vincent, great movie.
And to my dad, if he's watching, he's like, I don't like Bill Murray. I'm like, go see the
I know,
movie.
and
Even if
people,
you don't
this
like
is
Bill
not
Murray.
a Bill Murray
Right.
movie.
Thank you, Jackie Kate Cooper.
I know, but it's not. And he was fantastic in it. And the little boy who plays the kid that he takes.
Oh, he's outstanding. Melissa McCarthy doesn't have a huge role.
no,
Naomi Watts
and
has
she's not playing a Melissa McCarthy role.
Right, she's not. It could have been anybody.
Yeah,
just
it
a
could.
regular.
And I love Naomi
She
Watts.
was outstanding. Yeah,
Yeah.
she had a bigger role than Melissa McCarthy
Yes,
in this.
and I can't think of the guy's name right now, but who played the priest, the educator at the
Oh,
school.
yeah.
He was in Bridesmaids
Right,
as a
yeah.
policeman. He's coming along.
Oh, I know exactly what
he
you're
gets
talking
he
about.
gets more and more roles, but he was so everybody. That was a very strong, unified cast.
Yep.
You know,
And 2 other snubs.
Chef,
Before we get to the
Chef,
main one, Chef, so good. Jon Favreau, nice to see him get back into
And I
it.
keep wanting to say Vince Vaughn, but it's because they did that
Yeah,
movie together,
Swingers together
so
a long
far
time
back, and I've
ago.
kind of linked their careers together. But Jon Favreau is just amazing in that film.
So good.
And John Leguizamo.
It's so good.
Oh,
good
my gosh.
father-son story. Good everything about
Everything
it. Is good.
about it. And again, it's that kind of movie that you go to see, and it just begins to grow on you, and you think, oh my gosh, this is terrific. What's your other one you said should be?
Begin Again.
Begin
Oh,
Again.
The music-related movie.
One
with
of my
Jon
favorite
Favreau.
movies.
Mark Ruffalo,
Ruffalo.
and Keira Knightley, and
And Adam.
Levine from
voice,
Maroon 5,
the
and
voice.
even Justin Timberlake was in there too a little
Yep.
bit. I mean, it was.
I have
outstanding.
begged people to go see
Yeah.
Begin Again.
Yes.
And we're not talking about the best song, but I thought, well, at least Lost Stars, which is the main song in that movie that I have in my car that I play over and over and over. Keira Knightley sings a version. Adam Levine sings a version. Terrific song. I thought it'll get best song, and then here comes Glory from Selma, and I thought, no, Lost Stars.
Yeah, and these are some pretty bad omissions. I really
They
do
are.
believe that. I
They
mean,
are, and I think they're omitted because they're small movies.
yeah, you're probably right.
You know, and I mentioned one you haven't seen, Belle.
Yes, I did not. Wanted to.
Oh, just a fantastic movie. Look it up. It's historical. It's another based on a true story. Gugu Mbatha Rao, I think is her name.
Easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say. Gugu Mbatha Rao is so good in that film. She's just amazing. And again, it didn't get any attention. I saw it in Atlanta. Chased it down. But these are omissions. But this is overall a strong.
Still a pretty good list. Quality.
How many of
films.
these would you go back and see again, though?
Well, I would not go see American Sniper again. I would see Birdman again. I would definitely see Boyhood
Yeah.
again. I would see Budapest Hotel again. I would see Imitation Game again. I don't know if I would see Selma again. I would definitely see Whiplash again if I could make it
You
through.
skipped the Theory of Everything.
Yeah, because I'm still trying to decide if I would see the Theory of Everything.
I
again.
might go back to see. I've seen American Sniper. I think once was enough, even though I enjoyed it a lot. Birdman, I would go back to study.
Right, because there's even more to it.
And
than
I
we
might
realize.
even go back to Boyhood to think, what did I miss?
Give it another shot.
What did I miss that everybody saw in this movie that I
That
didn't?
you didn't. And in fairness with Sniper, even though I didn't love it, I didn't dislike it, but you did agree with me. There are some flaws in it. At least give me that. There's a fake baby scene.
the fake baby. But I'm not going to give you the cell phone in the midst
That
of
he's
combat.
talking to his wife in the middle of
Hold on,
heated
honey.
combat.
The enemy's here.
Which doesn't happen because
Can
I
I
have
put
friends
you
in the
on hold?
military who have to call their wives and it's not in the middle of it never is in the middle of combat.
And what I thought was how horrible for her. She was
To
just
listen
coming
to
out of the
her.
hospital where she'd been for a pregnancy checkup, and she hears him. She's talking to him, and all of a sudden there's gunfire, and the phone gets tossed on the ground. She's hearing this all. She's screaming, "Chris,
Right.
Chris, Chris!" I mean, that was a harrowing.
But my movie snobbiness comes out. The average person goes, "This is unbelievable. I can't believe this happened." I go, "This is so ridiculous. This never happened," and thus it loses credibility. For
Mr.
me.
Average over here, I said,
You fell for it.
this is
Oh,
incredible.
hook, line,
My
and sinker,
gosh, this
Jackie
is
K.
incredible.
Unbelievable.
I can't believe they have
You
cell
fell
phones
for
back
it.
there. Come on.
And he's a
she
sniper.
She was a consultant on the film. If it hadn't happened, I can't believe she would say, well, that sounds like something good to
It's
do.
not sexy. It's not Hollywood. It doesn't pull at your heartstrings unless they throw that in there. He's on top of a roof as a sniper, and he just leaves his post and goes and joins the Marines on one of their missions. That doesn't happen. Live in reality, Clint
Booyah!
Eastwood. So there were some things that I just had trouble getting over.
But again,
his performance
do
is
you
amazing.
think, and this is politics again, several years ago, Clint Eastwood came out at the Republican convention and talked to a chair, and there was a lot of ridicule from Hollywood, etc. Clint Eastwood didn't get nominated for American Sniper. The movie got nominated, Bradley
Right.
Cooper. Bradley Cooper attributes a lot of his performance to Clint Eastwood.
But when you have a fake baby in a scene, it's hard to get the best.
That baby's up for Best Supporting Actress. Our Best Supporting Baby.
And one thing I love, my wife and I, we rank them every year. We go out to dinner, we do it separately, and then we share. And I'm not going to lie, it's ranked last for me. And I do you think St. Vincent was better than Sniper?
I think it was equally good.
Okay. Foxcatcher?
Foxcatcher.
Yes, I could see it in your face.
Well, now let me tell you this: American Sniper did not make my best top 10.
Oh, it didn't? Okay, then. So we're kind
and
of on the
Foxcatcher
same
did,
page.
and Wild did,
All right.
and Boyhood did. And
You think
Chef.
Wild should have been Best Picture? I know definitely Reese for Best Actress.
I thought the movie entertained me. The movie was something I didn't expect. Again, because it was based on a true story, all of the characters, Cheryl Strayed's ineptness
Right.
in the preparation for this, then the depth of her relationship with her mother,
Yeah.
portrayed by Laura Dern. I thought those were very unique things.
Well, let's get to the nuts and bolts. We got to find out who should win, who will win.
Who should win is, is it my turn or
Let's
your
just
turn?
do it together.
You go ahead.
I think Birdman should win.
And
I think it will win.
I think
Are we
Birdman
going to
should
agree?
win.
No, we can't
I
agree.
think Boyhood will win.
You do. Oh, you will be so disappointed.
I will.
I'm going to call you and just tell you it's going to be okay if it
I'm
actually
serious.
does.
Yeah, but I think the momentum is there. I think Hollywood looks at it as, man, this guy Linklater took such a risk.
Right.
Every 12 years, how inventive can you be? This shows Hollywood at its most creative.
Right.
Oh, pat us on the back. We made a movie
Yep.
like this.
Just the undertaking of it is
Yes.
going to get him
Yes.
such acclaim.
Yes.
Would you be upset if Whiplash ever won? I don't think it would. In a
I
million
wouldn't be
years.
upset if Whiplash won. I wouldn't be upset if The Theory of Everything won. I wouldn't be upset if The Imitation Game won. I don't think Grand Budapest was Best Picture.
Right.
I don't think American Sniper was Best Picture.
Okay.
But I do. Birdman was my top movie of the year.
Mine too.
Because when you talk about pat yourself on the back, inventiveness, that was one of the most inventive movies
In a long time.
that I have seen.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely this year, I would agree. So we're in agreement.
God
Birdman.
bless America. Kevin, this has been unbelievably fun. And again, we want to thank the Gallery of 15 here in Snipersville, in Centerville. Eric Smith, who's the manager here, great friend of mine, and somebody who is so kind to this show and letting us use the facilities and
bringing
do
these movies here so we can watch them
and
and not
keep
have
bringing
to
bring
drive
on
to
those
the earth.
movies. But the Academy Awards are February 22nd on ABC, so you can watch and see how well we did.
We did well.
We were in agreement on a lot of
Yeah.
things this year, though.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, for
Thanks for
doing
having
this.
me, Jackie.
And thanks, everybody, for watching this, our Academy Awards show.